official full review video. Today we are going to be talking about the book The Evil Days by Arya Narrayan. Just look at this cover to begin with. The more you look at this cover, the more you can see new details in it. You can see the Kalki avatar right here, which is talking about a relation to the Dasavatar as well. And this is an evil guy with a skeleton face if you look closer, and the earth is his brain, and he's holding a brain over here. And then you can also see the US flag view and all that over there, and it's the more you look at it, the more you can see in this. So the first aspect of this I liked was that, which is what prompted me to pick it up even. And I really I picked it up and read the preface, and I really liked the preface itself because the author has spoken a lot about reincarnation and about his soul and everything there. So I'm just reading from the preface. He has said, I wrote this book to give a new name to my soul. The book should bear my soul name and eventually become an identity to my soul. And he goes on to say that his soul name is Arya Narrayan, which is what is on the book, and his legal birth name is Y.R.A. Kannan, and his spirit name is Lord Narayan. So the second I read this itself, I was like, okay, so the story talks about supernatural elements and all that, but it shows that the author is passionate about this because he has even gone above and beyond to make it the name of the book. And I don't know, it just felt a lot more deeper than just the storyline of the book. And coming to the storyline itself, I felt it was very cohesive, and it had really good character development because most of the story is based on the characters and what they are learning, and as and when they are learning something, we are also learning it along with them. So I felt that was really well done. Since it's filled with so many scientific facts and supernatural elements, I felt there would definitely be some points where they are talking about some scientific concept where you just go over the top of my head, or they might be talking about supernatural elements which I can't relate to, or they might be far ahead of me where two genius scientists are talking, but not at all. It's barely 200 pages. I think it's around 190 pages. I remember reading a book called Project Hail Mary, and it was full of scientific concepts, and while it was interesting to read, a lot of it went over my head. This is not at all like that. With that book was 900 pages long. This is barely 200 and it's done the job. All the concepts were so easily understandable, and since you are learning it along with a bunch of other human beings, during a presentation when these scientists are displaying it to an audience, so they are dumbing it down for you so that you can understand the concept easily, and at no point did I feel like I can't understand what's going on. So that was really nice to read this and understand everything that's going on. And apart from that, I also liked how realistic the whole thing was because the author has linked it to realistic incidents that are actually happening today. And it was nice. It was like a breath of fresh air because you're seeing all these incidents happening around you through a different lens as and when the other characters are learning about it. Apart from this, I also liked how they had spoken about other scientific concepts such as the Bermuda Triangle was spoken about, and a lot about reincarnation and the afterlife and God and religions. A lot of questions are raised over there. And I really liked all that because it doesn't just stick to this whole science aspect, it also talks about spirituality and humanity and a lot of different aspects such as that. And I really like that one of the female characters in this book, I don't want to give any spoilers, but I really like the feminism aspect in this because in a lot of books where there's a hero like this and he's kind of taking the Kalki avatar to come and save the world and everything, it's kind of focused on that hero itself. There are the evil days going on and he has to come and save the world, and it's focused around him. But in this story, his wife is also equally involved. There's even a scene in which she picks up a gun and she helps him at the end. That she takes a sword and stabs him, and she gets equally as many heroism scenes as he does. And I really like that because there was an equal divide over there, and all the characters felt really well shaped up, and it was amazing because even a side character goes through so many red herrings which keep you guessing all the time, who is the villain, what's going on, what are they coming to at the end, who's the mastermind behind all this. And at the core of it, they need to find Einstein's brain because that is the core problem here, and they are trying to use this device that they have made to find that, and you're trying to put all the pieces together and figure out who it is, and you'll just never figure out at the end because there are so many red herrings. At one point you're thinking the hero is the villain who has been doing it from the beginning, and it's just amazing how it goes back and forth from there, and all the subplots are also very well resolved at the introduction and the prologue and the epilogue and everything, and it's such a well thought out book. And the reason I really like this book is because of how much they have dumped it down. Like there's one saying which goes, you have really understood a concept if you can explain it to a 3-year-old by dumping it down to their terms. And the fact that no matter how complex the science and reincarnation stuff in this are, they have dumped it down so much, which shows that the author is really passionate about this topic. Coming to some things that I didn't like about it, it was really fast paced, but then some of the romance elements were just really cheesy. Like there is one point where this hero and heroine are just talking about like let's have our baby, how are we going to have this baby in this situation with all this evil days going on and everything. And the hero is like, okay, let's use this for our second baby. And his wife is like, what do you mean second baby, who is our first baby? And he says, you are and will always be my first and foremost baby. Some of the romance aspects like this were really cheesy, okay? And I felt some of the medical details at the way end of this book when that major battle is going on. Like there is a scene in which the hero literally takes a sword and cuts his own wrist, and he's so much blood loss is going on, and they just say like they took a methane solution or something and they just rubbed it and it disappeared. So I felt the medical details could have been researched a little bit more because it felt very superficial to me. Like the author himself didn't know how to resolve this issue, so he just said, let's leave it to science and it's been sorted. So that was one aspect I didn't like. But the ending was very satisfying and it was very dramatic with all the different characters coming together and all the loose ends being tied up one by one. And it sounds so possible, and it's a suggestion for how the future of the world will be if we continue going as we are right now. So more positives than negatives. I really recommend this and I really enjoyed it. So definitely check it out, and do check out the other books as well by this author, such as Paradox and Massage, and he's coming up with so many at such a fast pace. So definitely check it out. It's a really good quick thriller that you can finish in one day just like I did. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next video coming up very soon.